this is talk 9 of 10 in our Get Up for School series that's brought to you by Old Mutual. Thank you so much, Old Mutual, for sponsoring these talks. Today is like one of my favorite topics. We've tackled some tough topics and some lovely topics, and I think today is just a lovely one. It's about the joy of reading. And Old Mutual has got these amazing online calculators that you can use to calculate your monthly savings that are needed for education for your child. And I really recommend you go on the site. We're going to pop a QR code in the comments and also like a link to the site. They're very nifty, they work really well, and you can figure out how much to save. And I always say like the best time to start saving was 10 years ago, but if you haven't, start saving today. It's worth it. And we have Kumo here from Ethnic Kids today. Ethnic Kids we followed for a long time, and they do amazing work. And our topic, the joy of reading. I mean, reading is, I've got a few favorite things in my life, but I think reading is like right up there. And it is thanks to my mother, who's probably watching.
Beautiful.
Yeah, reading to us and reading to me and all of us, that was kind of that was like the main activity growing up, reading. It is the best gift for a child. But can you tell us more and whatever, and go for it.
Thank you, Helen, and thank you so much for having us. Like you said, it's incredibly important that children find joy in reading, because what that does is it takes it from being a foundational academic school activity into a lifelong habit. And that's the gift your mother's given you, in that you've long finished school, but it's still something that you enjoy.
Yes.
And there's so many, apart from the academic, other benefits. Your mental health is improved, your cognitive abilities, which are so crucial, because our kids are literally, there's so much brain rot from all the devices and all the digital. So they need something that almost helps the computer, the brain, just to slow down, improve their attention, improve their memory, improve their vocabulary. So it's actually proving even more important now in the world that we're living in.
Yeah, with all the devices. And I'm sure you guys have noticed in your own life, when you at night in bed, when you're trying to fall asleep, if you are kind of on a device that does not help your sleep, if you are reading a book, it does help your sleep. Doesn't mean the book is boring, but it's something like in the brain.
And not just your brain, but also your empathy, your ability to sense other people's emotions, your ability to understand different cultures, different ways of life. You get to live many different lives through reading. So it's great, because I know there's I think it's a philosopher in the US that calls it the window and mirror effect. So it's really important, especially for children, to see themselves positively represented in literature. So that's that mirror effect. And that helps psychologically. And then you also have the window effect, where you learn about other ways of living, other cultures. And you can't really get that kind of education anywhere else. You can't live 1,000 lives, but through reading you can.
Yes. You know, that representation thing is fascinating to me, because I think it's something that's improved in publishing in South Africa over the last, 10, 15 years maybe. And Ethnic Kids is obviously, you guys are playing a big role in that. Because literally, if you think back 20 years ago, you wouldn't find a book with a little black girl as a character, for instance. And now they are actually available. If you go and look around, you can find them, or look online. There are a lot of publishers now that start publishing also, like they'll do a book and they'll actually publish it in all languages. So there might be a little black girl as the main character, but you can also buy that book in Afrikaans. And that's part of expanding your worldview and getting insights. And I don't want to mention books by name, but they were really cool books that I read 15 years ago to my kids. But can I mention the one named the Nguni series?
The Cool Nguni.
I love the Cool Nguni. They are some of our favorite books. And I was going through all the kiddie books. Those are the ones I'm keeping for grandchildren one day, Some books you let go and you pass on or whatever, but the Cool Nguni we're keeping, because it feels so South African, and the stories are just, absolutely lovely. So I wanted to ask, we did a talk on mother tongue language a while ago. It's very interesting in our context in South Africa as well, where often school also happens in English. What did you say? I think 85% of kids go to school in their second language. So what about books in mother tongue languages? You guys do those, right? Yeah.
So we stock books in all 11 languages.
Yeah.
Now we've also got sign languages as well, so we do have a few books that have the sign language alphabet as well. And then we also included that to go further because it's not only South African official languages that are spoken within our borders. You've also got Shishona, which is from Zim. You've got Kiswahili, which is from Kenya, Yoruba, which is from Nigeria. So it's really just about inclusivity.
Yes.
That there should be easy access. You shouldn't have to struggle as a parent to read to your child in your mother tongue, to read them a bedtime story.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's,
And there's also a big difference between spoken language and what you read. So from a vocabulary perspective, yes, I could be speaking my mother tongue at home, but you won't use as many words. Whether that's in English or in another language, you increase your vocabulary and sense of the language and how it's used, application of it from reading. So it's very important to have greater access to more languages.
Yeah. And I think there's so many couples who basically have, they each have a different mother tongue and speak like a bit of English at home. They also speak their own mother tongue to the kids. So so many South African families live in this completely multilingual, environment and their mother tongue. So maybe, dad can read a book in his mother tongue, mom can read a book in her mother tongue. And then school is kind of English. I mean, that's
been actually one of our favorite kind of themes or trends that we're seeing, the multilingualism in books. So sometimes a book will say it's English, but then you'll see like the lexicon being used in it. And children, they resonate with that. They identify, oh, I know that word. Oh, I've heard aware before. I've heard, and that makes it more real. Yes. It's not something that's for other people. It's for me. I see myself in the book. Yes. I feel like I'm included and I want to read this literature.
Yeah, that I belong.
I belong.
Yes.
Because many children don't read because they're like, oh, it's not for me. And there's really no such thing as a child who needs to read. It just means they haven't found the right book.
Yes.
So it's just about making more and more available to them.
Yes, finding the right book is absolutely key. And if there's a good librarian at your school, they're my favorite people.
We love librarians too.
I love my yoga teachers and I love my librarians. They're like my best people. I mean, my youngest daughter, definitely, it was super librarian that got her, that encouraged her and picked the right book and found the right books for her that made the difference. Yeah. But you guys have also, we'll pop Ethnic Kids link in the comments as well. I mean, there's a huge variety. And don't just buy one or two books and think, oh yeah, I didn't really like it. You have to keep at it, and it might surprise you what they end up enjoying. Yeah.
And they develop their own tastes.
Yes.
I think we try to avoid being prescriptive to children.
Yeah.
Let them choose, let them get involved in it, let them develop. If a child wants to read a comic book, that's what they want to read. Fine. It's okay as long as it works. I mean, they could be reading a cereal box for all we care, but they need to practice reading. They need to get that fluency going. They need to get that comprehension going, which is what we're struggling with in South Africa. So present them with as much material as you possibly can.
And when it comes to comprehension, would it help like after the storybook to have a little discussion on the book? Like
100%. You've got to make it engaging. I know it's hard sometimes to come from work, you're tired, you don't really want to. Children's books are short. It's not going to take you the whole night. At best, it's going to take 5 to 15 minutes. But try to make it engaging, get them involved, ask your, what do they call them, 5 W's and H questions. Your what, where, how, why, when. Just involve them. How would you like a story to end? What do you think they should have done? What did you like about the character? What didn't you like about the character? Because then that's when they're processing the information, they're analyzing it, they're remembering it, and it's not a passive activity anymore. They're involved in it.
And then in future, what I saw with my kids, then because the one was really a good reader, it makes future learning, like high school or whatever, we have to interact with bigger, larger, more complex text. Makes it so much easier because those things then end up coming quite naturally. You don't have to learn them at later on. It comes quite naturally.
There's a very strong correlation between being a strong reader and strong academic performance.
Yes.
So it's not acceptable as a parent that you just find that your child doesn't like to read. How can your child not like to read? It's you need it for everything. Everything. You get in your car, you're going somewhere, you need to be able to read the signs, you need to be able to cook, read a recipe. It's not like an optional thing. So it's critical that we as parents are active in that. We don't just outsource it to the schools or they learn to. It's not a natural process. There has to be some kind of intervention that you also play about.
Yes. And they do love it. if you make it nice and cuddle and do it in bed and have the right books, they do love it. So build on that. Yeah. Thanks, Kuma. I feel inspired, and I hope you guys are all feeling inspired too. And we'll pop all the necessary things in the comments so you can follow up. And thank you very much to Old Mutual for sponsoring this series. We've got one more talk coming up. I think it's on Thursday. I'll put the poster in the comments as well, and you can join us again. Thanks.
Thank you. That was so quick.